be here tonight, he can make our next meeting. The board has no problem appointing him tonight without an interview.
That's up to you.
As long as you recommend he be
I
hired.
recommend him. I've been trying to actually hire him for, probably over a year now.
Yeah.
We finally got authorization from the county, so we're good to go if the board is good to go.
Okay, good. Yeah, then
He's
we'll
a police
put,
officer right now in the town of Moline.
okay, we'll probably do that tonight then. Because I love looking at your roster and all the dates taken up and everything. I want to work along with you as best we can.
I appreciate it.
Okay. The minutes of the previous meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried, thank you. I skipped over public comment. Did you have anything?
It's not an agenda item.
Since you're the only person out there tonight and won't mess up our meeting, we'll be glad to hear from you.
I appreciate it, thank you. Mr. Supervisor, members of the town board, members of the public at home, my name is Tierney Scott, or Tierney King. I'm here on behalf of the Town of Highlands Joint Chamber, just to remind the community that we are hosting Restaurant Week, March 9th through the 15th. For participating restaurants, you can visit our website, tohjointchamber.org. We hope the community will come out and support local restaurants. It's gearing up to be a really good week.
Thank you, Tierney.
Thank you.
What were the dates again?
March 9th through the 15th. Thank you.
Communications on March the 5th from 2 to 4, Congressman Ryan will be here at the town hall. His van will be parked out in front as a reminder to people that he's here. I'm not sure that the congressman will be here. MJ, you're shaking your head no. And
Likely not.
at very least, his staff will be here. They'll be using my office, and no appointments necessary. They'll be here from 2 to 4. Congressman Ryan, March the 5th. What was that, this Thursday? Right?
Yeah.
Earlier in the day, they're in Cornwall for 2 hours.
Excuse me?
Earlier in the day, they're in Cornwall for 2 hours.
Oh, okay. We had a very lengthy meeting today down in my office with a lady from DEC representing the MS4 program. MS4 is the Municipal Stormwater System. They're interested in what happens to the water that's on the ground and where it goes and how we treat it, and how do we take care of it and how do we keep track of it. She had a million questions, which were all answered very well by our highway superintendent and our town engineer and one of his staff. It was a very lengthy meeting, and at the end of the meeting, we had, I think, 2 things that we'll say she wrote us up for, although she explained very well I have to write something. So she gives us 3 months to complete a couple of reports that we didn't have on hand. And no fines, no nothing, and I'm not even sure she'll be back. I think she just wants to be mailed the reports. So it was a very good meeting and very good for the town. We complied with most everything that she asked about. Then she went up to the highway department and checked that out, found nothing wrong up there. She needed some stormwater drains to be measured, but there was no water going through them at the time, so I don't know how you measure a drain without water going through it, but we'll take care of that too. That was one of the other things. But it was an excellent meeting and a good meeting for the town. We quite possibly could have gotten fined if we were really delinquent in some things, but we weren't. Okay. I transferred I'm losing my voice, but this is all on our minutes. And you got the minutes I printed up for you, didn't you? I put them in your office? The ones for, yeah. I put-
For what?
Then you notice the chair was pulled out of the way and I
I know my
put...
office.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I transferred $177,060 from the consolidated account to cover this week's checks run. Highland Falls Library quarterly contribution, $71,250. Interest and principal for the Mack side loader garbage truck, $47,873. Mellon Electric for the town hall light replacement, $9,975. Legal services, $8,137. And road salt for January, $6,221. I'm surprised it's not more than that. I also transferred $87,902 from the consolidated account to the paying account. Health insurance for March, $43,313. And Kelly, by the way, you gave us some bad news on our health insurance. What was that?
That they expect the increase for next year to be 15%.
15%.
I'm meeting with them Thursday.
Wonderful. We bought an engine for the recreation vehicle for $6,000. Presently, the newly hired mechanic is putting it in. He's doing a great job, I understand. Electricity for the sewer accounts, $4,689. Court fines and fees sent to the state comptroller, $3,835. Beacon Recycling for single stream recycling, $3,275. And finally, I transferred $1,232 from consolidated account to the paying account. For law books for the court, $998.97. Garrison Pond permit for December, $123. And dial-a-bus certification and mileage, $110. And now we'll have the board liaison reports, beginning with our councilwoman.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening to everybody here, everybody at home. Short update. Since we last met, I was so the Zoning Board of Appeals met, were not able to have a quorum, so they were not able to address anything, which would have been on the 18th of February. On the 19th of February, the Consolidated Planning Board did meet. There were no public hearings. There are two main projects they talked about. One is a proposed, and we've seen it before, they're on their way to more formal presentations, a proposed 26-lot subdivision in Villa Parkway in Highland Falls. They are still trying to see whether it's going to be 26 lots or how much it's going to be and how that's going to develop, and what kind of variances they may or may not be looking for in order to build that. So it's still very much in developmental stages. And Mr. Rick Manicosi, requested two extensions on ongoing projects that he has. 479 Main Street, the lot that was the Christiana Hotel and PenFed, that piece of North Main Street, and also 341 Main Street, which is the old Methodist Church, right, which will hopefully someday be the altar bar. So he was granted extensions on both of those. And then he appeared for new business starting the process for a development for 90, right now, 97 residential unit mixed-use building, which if you're looking at Walgreens, would go to the right of that. So just south of Walgreens, between there and the entrance to Peregrine Hall, right? So he's starting with that. That's going to be a process, but they talked about some of the aspects of it. And that was that. I don't have ambulance figures yet for February, but I'm going to take a moment as privileged being the Vice President for the American Legion Auxiliary and tell you that this Sunday at the Church of the Holy Innocents, we are inviting everyone to come and honor women veterans. So it is a particular day to honor women who have been and continue to be in service at the Community Hall at the Church of the Holy Innocents between 1 and 3 p.m. this Sunday. Light refreshments, just social, get to opportunity to thank women in service for their service. And I think that's what I have. No questions.
On the women veterans, I read, I guess, on Facebook about that, and for whatever reason, it read to me, because I thought it was odd, that it was only for women veterans.
No, not at all.
So clear that up if I read it wrong.
So anyone who loves and supports a veteran or knows a veteran or wants to, even if they're not with them, we invite the entire community to come and to be able to honor veterans.
Good.
So you do not, thank you for asking that question, then you don't have to be active duty or a veteran to be able to attend, or even a member of the American Legion Auxiliary, although we would love to have you learn about opportunities to join. If you do come, we'll ask you about it. But no, just for anybody in the community. And we'd be happy to see you all. Now I'm done.
Thank you. Councilman Leahy, please.
For recreation, I have a lot. For basketball, for the town recreation, the season is officially over. It was a success. The girls' league had 4 teams in 2 divisions. The turnout was pretty good. Partnership with O'Neill's varsity program will allow another year of instructional basketball clinics in the spring, summer, and fall. And Aaron will be hosting open gym every Friday night throughout the off-season. March 12th, he has a meeting with Army Athletics to plan with Division I teams' involvement in youth clinics and mentorship programs. He'll keep everyone updated on Facebook. March Mania cheerleading practices right now, actually. He keeps sending videos of them up there practicing. Looks like they're having fun. That's next weekend, March Mania, the 13th and 14th. If you're not doing nothing, go up there and just support the youth of the community. Lacrosse partnership with Bear Mountain continues again this year. Sign-ups are now. Co-ed T-ball, co-ed pitch baseball. The registration is open now until the end of March. And the season is going to begin at the end of April. Registration for Ponytail Youth Baseball open. And it's free this year. And with enough grants and donations, hopefully he'll be able to make many more years to come free. Pitching and hitting clinics start next week for Ponytail softball and youth baseball in the Highland Falls Intermediate School. They're going to have it twice a week, once during the week and once on the weekend. Planning and preparation has started for Summer Rec 2026. I'm sure the small kids are excited. The Department of Health representative is different. He's going to keep us updated. That liaison may need different things rather than our last one. The Easter egg hunt this year is scheduled for March 28th at 10 a.m. The rain date is April 4th. March 6th is the second ski snowboarding night at West Point Ski Slope. The last event in February was very successful. I think there was over 50 residents. That's it for rec. Thank you to Aaron for all he's doing. Thank you to Kelly for always being there for him. The dial-a-bus, I have a report for the dial-a-bus for the month of February, with only 18 days with the weekends and the snow and everything. Still almost 400 passengers. To me, that amazes me every time. Miss Debbie's doing a great job. Thank you, Miss Debbie. The Joint Chamber of Commerce I have for the restaurant week, March 9th through the 15th. On their website, they have all the participating restaurants. That's the Joint Chamber of Commerce, the Town of Highlands Chamber of Commerce. They're doing the military banners again this year. Go on their Facebook page and find that. Delizia's Pizza is having a comedy night on March 19th. Doors open at 6:30, shows at 7. And their next meeting is March 18th at the center. And that's all I have, sir.
That's plenty. Plenty. Thank you. Councilman King.
Yes, good evening, everyone, and good evening, everyone at home. Just a few notes for me. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for their resilience as we weathered the storm, no pun intended. I mean, it was a big blizzard, as everybody knows, and prior to that, we had a big snowstorm. But as we hunkered down to get through it, we communicated intermunicipality, we communicated in the town, and we communicated with residents to be able to ensure that everybody was safe. There was any confusion about warming centers, I'm going to be the one to take responsibility for that. If there was anyone out there confused about where they needed to be, because we put out at one time Senior Center and American Legion, and then that changed to the Fort Montgomery Fire Department and the Village Hall. And so again, the responsibility squarely falls on me for the messaging, but I want to thank everybody for their flexibility and first and foremost, being safe out there. To tell you how communication is so important, on the second wave of the snowstorms, as we got the big blizzard last week, it came to my attention that we had a power outage near Roe Park. Now, at the time, I didn't know exactly where, but then between communicating with our emergency management coordinator, Kurt Hahn, and the village trustee, Jen Gargiulo, I was able to identify the location and then go out there and get on the ground and check to see how those residents were doing. In fact, I talked to the former hockey coach of West Point, who lives in that vicinity, and by the time I had got there, the power was back on, thankfully. But the idea was that we were talking to one another, intermunicipality, that means one government to another, village and town, and then our coordinator, who lives in a different community, was able to pinpoint the exact area where we was having these problems. So that communication was going on. What we actually did after that is met with one another. And let me add, first of all, that Greg Marr was a big part of that too. I was talking to him quite frequently about adjusting the warming center, and he was able to make that happen by way of talking to the person in charge of the fire department down there. As well as, of course, we know he's out there getting the roads cleaned up, and the team of folks did a fabulous job. But we met afterwards and did a huddle to talk about going forward, what we need to do. We're planning for a meeting, community-wide meeting. We're now looking for a location to do this community-wide meeting where we could talk about disaster preparedness in the April timeframe is the timeframe we're looking at April. Mm-hmm. It's something similar to what I did at if you recall, the senior center a couple of years ago, I think it's been now, where we got a whole host of folks down there. Yeah. They had a big community powwow with both municipalities, and we're going to go back to trying that again. So more to follow on that. On another note, we got opioid overdose response training in Harriman, on 30 Harriman Drive in Goshen. And that is March 5th. March 5th, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And we also have Mental Health Initiative Project, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the center, 254th Main Street, right here in Highland Falls, New York. So once again, thank you all for your resilience and your teamwork as we got past what I believed to be the, hopefully, end of the winter time. And as we get ready to go into the springtime, I want to thank Chief too, because I was on the phone with you quite a bit, so thank you. That's all I have, Supervisor.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Sullivan, please.
Thankfully, for the viewing audience and for the town board, I'm ill-prepared, so it won't be as long as I thought it was going to be. So this will be kind of flying off the cuff here. So, God, so many things. First, with what Ty was talking about with the storm. You know, I mean, we had a major storm at the end of January, a week of whatever, some more storms. Then we had the blizzard. And the temperatures, in my life living here, we had more snow than that when I was a kid. I don't recall the temperatures being that low for that long of a time. We're dealing with, like, you know, more than 30 days steady of never getting above freezing, and a lot of those days were below 15 degrees. So it becomes stressful, and people realize that you're approaching failure. Not that we're failures. We're not set up for that type of lifestyle here. This isn't Minnesota. And so there were pipes freezing and things like that. And so as we move forward, I think I sent everybody out one of my famous emails showing all of the propane accounts that we have, including a standby generator down at the ambulance hall. So in theory, they could have power and heat when there is no power. They have the ability to do both. I know they don't have a lot of room there. The Fort Montgomery Fire Department has that capability. I don't know. I thought there was a generator at the senior center. I drove up there the other day. There's no generator. I thought there was. So
No,
I was ill-informed on some things as well. So we didn't get caught with our pants down. We got caught with Mother Nature socking it right to us. And all things considered, the highway departments and all that, garbage. I've been up at the highway garage, as most people know. I can't tell you how many phone calls I've gotten about garbage. Cans on 218, a DOT truck was going down the road. Somebody sent me a video of a truck taking out 5 garbage cans in a row and wing them right over the guardrail. That wasn't intentional. That's what's going on right now. So everybody take a deep breath. The weather's going to get better. Spring is coming. We'll fix the garbage cans, we'll replace them, and we'll identify, maybe even Town Hall needs to have a standby generator. When I was a fire commissioner years ago during Superstorm Sandy, the power wasn't an issue. Gasoline was, because all the ships were stuck out in Long Island Sound. They couldn't get in to deliver their loads. The Fort Montgomery Fire Department, I recall, was driving all the way over to Monroe to get gasoline, because our service stations here didn't have the gasoline. And when the power goes out, none of them can pump gas. And there's gasoline at the village garage, there's none at the town garage. I don't know how much gasoline the village has. So you have no ability, and Ty and I communicated about possibly during the day of the power outage, using the dial-a-bus. So I called Debbie. I said, you may have to abandon your customers, and she knew the power was out, what was going on, to be able to get people out of Wyank Green or whatever was going on. She said to me, I can do that, but I'm probably going to have to go to Cornwall to get enough gas to make the day doing that, because they don't have enough at the moment, because we had nowhere to gas up that bus down here in town. And West Point, I had a cadet, or not a cadet, excuse me, a Boy and Eagle Scout candidate. You would love him, Bob. I think he came to one of our meetings. His name is Cale Putt. He interviewed me about a couple of things, including that battery storage thing down there. He told me that his family, living on West Point, went to the Cornwall Library to use as a warming center. So it hit all of us, okay? We all got caught a little bit off guard because Mother Nature is more cruel than she normally is. So hope everybody takes a deep breath and just stresses out over that whole thing. So on the water, Just want everybody to know, in the area of Cragston over the last week, I know they had a leak down on Rose Drive. There was some reports of, a lot of people call the town water department. The message, I leave lectures up there on these messages, clearly states that it is not the village water department and the number to call if it is. But a lot of people called up there. So we discovered they fixed a leak on Rose Drive or whatever. I believe this Wednesday, not far from where we get our water from in Highland Union Cemetery, the village is going to be repairing a leak that they have by and large located. I think it's along 218 in there. I don't think it's where they made the repair from the flood, but they will be doing a repair. I don't know, the text alerts, I'm almost afraid to send them out because they seem to do as much harm as good when you send them out. Maybe tomorrow we'll send something out saying they're going to be, the village probably will, I don't want to speak on their behalf, but I know on Wednesday they're going to make a repair, and it doesn't matter for us down in Fort Montgomery if they shut it off, because we have a 250,000 gallons of storage with a check valve. That's what it's there for, so it can backflow for anybody in Water District 1 or 2, with rare exception, while they do whatever they do up there. I think we're good for a period of about, I'd say, a little bit over 40 hours or something like that is what we'd be good for before we need to have the water turned back on. So that's what I have to say about water. And you know, I have it in my car, I forgot to bring it in. We had a water leak before the blizzard on Drew Road, down in front of, it's 11 Drew Road, down in front of where Jimmy Wallace used to live. Now, that is part of the water system that was installed by lawsuit money from the MTBE lawsuit. I'm not gonna pull any punches here. That's the 5th one that we've had since I've been on this board in that section. There are a lot of areas that have defective copper. So we went down, and Dale from VRI called me Tuesday. We looked at the numbers on Ion Water. We knew we were using about 15,000 gallons, losing 15,000 gallons a day. We went down there on Tuesday and kind of sounded it out. Wednesday, we set up logistics, getting a crew together and all that, knowing that a blizzard was coming. On Thursday, they went down there, and by noontime on Thursday, it was dug out to the main in the middle of the road. On the main, there is a device called a corporation where you can shut it off. You can only shut it off when it's dug up. Once it's backfilled, it stays open. That corporation had a flared connection that had a pebble inside of it. They made a pinhole. And I have the piece in my car. I wish I had brought it in. That pinhole leaked for probably a year or two or whatever, and it put a groove in the threads on a brass corporation that was leaking about 15,000 gallons a day. By noontime, they had it repaired. By about 4 o'clock that night, they had it backfilled. They left it down for blacktop. Remember, it's like 15 degrees out. They went and got cold patch, had it paved by 9 o'clock on Friday morning, and were plowing snow off of it by about 3 o'clock that afternoon when the blizzard came. Mind you, a lot of the guys doing that for our DPW are also Fort Montgomery firemen. And with all these blizzards and everything like that, we had a window of opportunity to have the annual skating party at Garrison Pond. Greg's a big part of that, Matty Beal's a big part of that, Ryan Falk, the police there. You had, I think Officer Joey Mazzaris is there. The ambulance corps was there. Great community spirit. We all know it's a challenge to get that opportunity on that lake nowadays because of insurance purposes and whatnot. I wasn't there for the whole thing. I understand about 150 people came, and I look forward to doing it again next year. But those guys did that with all the other time they've been putting into DPW duties, garbage, all that. I got to really give them a lot of credit. And in a few minutes, I'm going to read a little something off about the garbage. I've had time to spend with the garbage men, like we're talking 4:30 in the morning when they get started doing bulk pickup and all that. They do an incredible job. There are a good number of great landlords, and there's also a good number of obnoxious ones that don't shovel the dumpsters out. They'll call up and they'll leave rude voice messages and whatnot. I stand by those guys 100%. And when I read off the tonnages from last year to this year, you're going to see a significant reduction based upon the efforts that we're putting in to try and cut this bulk garbage stuff from Highland Falls being abused the way it has been for the last couple of years. Let me see, where am I going all over? So while I'm on the subject of bulk pickup, I don't have much to say about the building department specifically, no monthly numbers and all that. We have a new code enforcement officer down there. He'd been with us for about 3 weeks. He is newly trained, and he's doing a very good job, such a good job that people that have to put an exit sign up in order to meet their code, I think they're getting mildly upset. He's trained, and these guys answer to the Department of State, even more so than us. They are accountable to the Department of State. Every April, they have to send in a report on what they're doing. So they're doing what the book tells them to do and what our code tells them to do. And I'm going to lead into something I don't normally do, which is a specific property in Highland Falls. So I can get the voice messages from the DPW right on my iPad. I think there's been about 10 phone calls in about the last 3 weeks for 173 Main Street. There's a couch on the corner of 173 Main Street with a table. It's been there for, I know it's been there for at least a month, okay? And that particular property has, and Philip has written a ton of violations. There's some illegal conversions going on to the building without a permit. They don't shovel the snow in front, and their dumpster account is not paid. So I'm telling anybody here that has a problem with that couch, you're welcome to notify me. Until they pay their dumpster account and shovel the snow in front of their sidewalk, I have no interest in us picking up that couch. If somebody else wants to, that's fine. That's the reason it's not being picked up. I don't want to degrade the look of Highland Falls. I want to make it better. And we're putting a lot of effort into trying to make that happen between the building department and the sanitation people following instructions for bulk pickup, which I'm fatigued of bulk pickup, if you don't mind my saying so at this point in time. Michael was up with me Sunday morning, thank you for coming, for a couple of hours, and on his recreation report, he, did you mention the Ram pickup truck up there?
No.
Okay. You want to talk about the Ram pickup? Go ahead, say your piece about it. I'll do it for you. Okay. So we have a new mechanic. He's been with us a couple of months. He's a great guy. That truck has the engine removed from it. There aren't many highway departments that get that involved. There's a million lines all over the place. We voted last month on a $6,000, $5,000 thing for the engine. He has a new engineer, it's a short block, he's putting parts on it. That will be back in operation probably in about a week and a half. And when that comes back, Aaron can get his truck back for recreation purposes so that the building department and the assessor don't have to feud over the one vehicle that they have to use together right now. They'll go back to having two vehicles at that point in time. So with all the snow, parties on Garrison Pond, all that, the highway department is doing a great job, and so is sanitation. I can't speak highly enough of those people for what they've had to put up with this winter, and they got a lot of spirit up there. On the recycling, since I have all this time to play with the computer up there, I'd like to read off for recycling for the year 2025. We accumulated total of 341.98 tons of recycling, okay? The recycling rate, just the recycling rate, went from $118 in the beginning of last year per ton to $130 per ton for recycling, okay? And we had that 341 tons. Out of that, when you break it down, there's a roll-off up there that carries it away. Doesn't matter how many tons are in it. Each time it goes away, that's about $350, the average twice a week. And that is done by a company called Royal. Royal last year hit us for $33,000. Republic, where our recycling goes, hit us for $42,000 roughly for the year, totaling out at about $75,000. And the reason that I'm saying that, recycling is important, I believe in it. The higher levels of government are letting us down by having the recycling rate be $130 a ton, when the municipal solid waste is $124 a ton. It's about $6 a ton less for the municipal solid waste. Very disappointing to see that. And on the municipal solid waste for last year, For 2023, when we had COVID and the flood and all that stuff, we had 3,049 tons. For 2024, we had 3,001 tons. For 2025, we had 2,839 tons of municipal solid waste at $124 a ton, which is a couple hundred tons less. Part of that is due to the efforts, because I'm convinced a good portion of bulk pickup in Highland Falls for the last year has been imported garbage from somewhere else. So by Philip writing violations and addressing all this, I think we've made a significant step forward with making Highland Falls look better and getting the garbage under control. And the reductions in Friends for me has been significant, but it's worth the effort in order to accomplish that. And what else do I have to talk about? So the Boy Scout that had an interview with me, he was here at one of our meetings, and he came and he wanted to talk about this battery storage thing down here on Fufu Glu's property. I didn't go to that meeting. I was on the planning board for many years. People have the right to come forward something. So I didn't know a lot about it. I don't know the science behind lithium-ion batteries and all that. But what was interesting is we had the interview, and having just had that power outage a day or two before, I flew my drone here at Town Hall at 6:30 that morning, and I think I showed it to everybody. I sent it to them to show where the lights are on, who had standby power. There was about 25 places in Highland Falls that had standby power. You look up there at West Point, and there was nothing up there either. I think Lady Cliff, the barracks up there, had a couple lights on up there. So I said to him, it was funny, you know, that obviously that project, and I want to thank the village board for hosting them. Wasn't no legal meeting or anything like that. It was something important. They let the community come and ask questions of those people, and they have been before the planning board, and I don't know if they'll be going back to the planning board, but they hosted a meeting. They sat there for 3 hours, and everybody asked their questions. So I said to the Boy Scout, I said, now that we've had the power outage, I wonder if anybody at all changed their mind about maybe not having that, but having some form of standby power, whether it's generators at a specific location, a central location for something. Clearly, we found out that we are so dependent on power that when it's 0 degrees out, we don't have it for 6 hours. There was a lot of panic going on. And so we are not as prepared as we should be, but we will be in the future. And I think that's all I have, so, okay?
Thank you very much, Councilman Sullivan. Kelly, do you have anything? Justin, do you have anything?
No, sir.
And Chief? Yeah. Well, I'm not going to let you get away that easy. Would you go up to the microphone and introduce us to Officer Dwayne Clark?
So Dwayne Clark, he's somebody that we were going to send to the police academy. I was going to put him before the board and request that we sponsor him. He did get a job through the Town of Lloyd Police Department. He's been there for just under a year. He reached back out to me expressing his interest. I pushed his resume through to the county again, and it got approved. So I'd like to hire him as a part-time police officer.
Okay. Ty, do you have a motion?
I make the motion that we hire the officer recommended by the chief.
That would be Dwayne Clark, and we would be hiring him under the salary in the union contract?
Yes, correct.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Tell Dwayne he's hired.
Thank you, sir.
Chief.
I have a resolution here from the Orange County Legislature. I just thought it would be good information. This is a resolution of the Orange County Legislature vehemently opposing the locating of a United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement processing and/or detention facility in warehouses within the county of Orange. That passed 21-0. Everyone on the legislature passed it, and it was sent off to all the right people that should know about it. I think it's a great thing the county did. I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but we don't need a makeshift prison here in Orange County. And another county legislature thing that was of interest to me, only because I know what it's about, but we receive in sales tax, Kelly, ballpark, $1 million a year in sales tax. Now, in this agreement, the cities of Newburgh, Middletown, and Port Jervis have to agree with the plan. They offer them a different type share or what have you. If they didn't agree with the plan, they could collect sales tax on their own. So they choose to go with the county, therefore leaving the whole plan as it's been a long time. So I guess ever since I've been supervisor, which is a long time. So if you know the system, this is appreciated by everyone because, and if they did collect their own, then the county wouldn't share the sales tax with the towns. So that would be $1 million loss. So that's good news. What else do I have here? Richie, not that you haven't spoken of, but would you talk about the DPW clerk that we interviewed?
So, I'll get right to it. It has been mostly me that has moved forward with wanting to make that a full-time civil service position. I would like there to be equilibrium and equalness with all the clerks that work for the town, including up there, pay-wise and otherwise. So we went through the list. I think you had to change the title, because the first title was a higher level. At $21.50 an hour, I don't think we got very many people interested. The second time around, we had a few people interested. If I'm not mistaken, one person was someone who contacts us frequently, lives in Lower Manhattan, whatever that's all about. So we found out, help me out with this, is it the HELPS program from the county allows you to be temporarily, for now, exonerated from the burden of a person having taken that civil service test and being on that list. So we did something that's been very successful for us. We went to Indeed. I think we had 21 applicants, and I think we went through them and agreed on who was plausible, mid-plausible, and low plausible. We interviewed, I think it was 5 people, and out of everybody we interviewed, we have one gal, she happens to be local, that I believe is pre-qualified by the county anyway, if I'm not mistaken on that one. The big thing is literacy in Excel and Word. That's really big up there with going on in that office. And so we interviewed, and we came up with, can I say her name? I can say her name. We're going to hire her, right?
Yeah.
Lindsay McLeod. I think she lives locally. I'm not quite sure where she lives. And I am going to recommend that we hire Lindsay McLeod at probation, whatever the starting salary, all the things that go along with it, to be the clerk up at the DPW.
You making that a motion?
Making a motion.
All right. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilman Leahy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Lindsay's going to start tomorrow.
I'm going to fire up her computer for her and take the day off.
Okay. During our executive session, we interviewed a gentleman for a vacancy that is on the ZBA. Richard, is ZBA under you or?
Nancy's the liaison. Nancy.
Nancy?
Yes.
Would you like to talk about this gentleman just a little, or?
So his name is Clement Krug. He interviewed with us tonight. He's a member of the fire department. He is a recent resident of the village, about 3 years, I think he said. He has a background, so he is former police officer, NYPD. He has an architecture background. and a great interest in service to the community. So he was asked to be considered because he has interest in serving on the Zoning Board of Appeals. This particular seat is that was held by Janine O'Brien, and who resigned recently. So if we agree, then Clement would be appointed for this year, for the rest of this year. And then we'll worry about what happens next. I think the village would have the next one. So we talked to him, and everything was good. So is it a motion for me to make? Then I make the motion to appoint Clement Krug to the remainder of the vacancy created by Janine O'Brien, so 1 year for the Zoning Board of Appeals, the Consolidated Zoning Board of Appeals.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried, thank you. Moving right along here. The cemetery should have a person that would be called a sexton. This would be a person that is in charge of, we'll call it operations in the cemetery, burials.
Interments.
Interments, exactly. Right now, the person filling that position, which is not a lone position, there can be more than one, but right now, we would like to appoint a gentleman from town by the name of Carlo Meyer. He would be appointed and would take care of the burials as in the past, at the same rate as been in the past.
And that rate is determined by funeral homes who pay that person.
Okay.
We don't, but by funeral homes paying that
Okay,
person.
all
Yes.
right. So, do I have a motion? Richie, would you further elaborate, or
I
is that?
think you did pretty good. That's been the Eagle Valley Cemetery, and we own 2 other cemeteries as well, Peacedale and Highland Union down there. And there was Eagle Valley was basically, the graves were dug by one person for the last 30 years. It was very successful. It's a very successful cemetery. That person has moved on, and Carlo is there now, and there is, I would say, an inherent need just for the town to appoint a sexton in order to be able to dig graves. He has insurance and all that, and so I will, if you want me to make that motion.
Sure, why not?
I make that motion for us to appoint Carlo Meyer as a sexton for all of our cemeteries.
Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Leahy, all in favor?
Aye.
Now, one more motion on the same thing. There was a mistake made in the cemetery on a burial, which caused Mr. Meyer to dig a grave that didn't warrant being dug. And he kind of wasted his time doing that, which was the fault of the town. I'll say the record keeping in the town caused this grave to be opened. So we think it's fair that we pay him where he would have gotten $800 for it, since we didn't use what he dug and did dig another one. I would recommend that we pay Carlo Myers $400 for the time spent on that grave.
That's half of what he normally charges. He lost half a day or a little bit more by this mistake, and I would be inclined to go along with that line of reasoning. If you need me to make that motion, I'd be happy to make that motion.
Please do.
I'll second.
No?
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried, thank you. Let's see, did I miss anything?
The ambulance?
Yeah, the ambulance.
Oh, yeah, right. I was wondering why Justin kept looking up here at me. We have an ambulance union that has formed, and we need to approve their contract. The contract has been looked over, passed over, discussed, meetings, the whole thing. And we're to the point now where it's being presented to the board. I have one comment on it, and that would be the fact that we have 12 EMTs that are part-time. However, only 5 of the 12 have worked this last year. One of the 12 may have worked some, but I think he resigned last year. He didn't resign. He just stopped working. So we have 5 people that would be on the roster, but they haven't worked, and they're still being carried on the roster. So I would recommend that if we approve the contract, that these 5 people, in order to be unionized or put in the union, would have to work. So we're going to try and get a resignation from them, but nonetheless, they can't be in the union and not work. So I don't know how to put that in the right words, Justin, which is why you're going to give us the motion.
I think you just proposed that the ratification of the agreement is subject to resolution with the 5 EMTs who have not worked in the last year.
All right. Who wants to make that? And Nancy, it would be
I'll make the
appropriate.
motion, what Justin said.
Second.
Second by Ty. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Sullivan?
Aye.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember Leahy? Councilmember Stover?
Aye.
Supervisor Lizzie?
Aye. Okay. There's no other public comment out there. Does anybody on the board have anything?
Yeah, I forgot one thing. I don't think.
I knew that. That's why.
Only one thing, and it's a big thing. When I was telling about the storm and all the great communication, I don't know if I said that I was talking to Kelly on Saturday and Sunday too. Like, it made me think it was Monday or Tuesday, the way we were talking so much. Thank you so much, because you were really a big part of that communication, so thank you.
And I'll thank her the same thing, because I was on the phone with her too. It was not a day off Sunday for Kelly. Anybody else got anything? No? Ty, you have something.
I make the motion that we call this a victory and a great meeting and
Wait,
close it out.
before you make that motion, next week would be another meeting. I'm not so sure that we need a meeting next week. If we don't have it next week and we went back to our regular schedule, it would mean there'd be 3 weeks between meetings. So it's your pleasure, board. What do you
All
think?
the pending issues that were on my mind have been addressed this evening. I think we're good. Don't what everybody else thinks. I think, we just did the contract there for the ambulance corps, took care of the cemetery. I think we're good.
Okay, and we can always call another meeting, a special meeting in between. So I need a motion to,
So I make the motion
Have our
that
next
we end this meeting and don't have a meeting next week.
that don't have a meeting next, what's the date?
Wrap it up.
The 9th,
No, the next meeting would be on what?
the 23rd.
23rd.
On the 23rd. All right, I have a motion that our next meeting will be on March the 23rd.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
And now it's Ty's moment. Go ahead, Ty.
Now I make the motion that this meeting is officially over, and it was a victory. Great meeting. Thank you for the public and everybody that showed up.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So carried, thank you.